South Africans were left divided this week after President Cyril Ramaphosa made remarks on migration that many critics have described as tone-deaf and out of touch with the growing frustrations of ordinary citizens. Among the loudest voices reacting to the president's comment was political commentator Jacinta, who did not mince her words when she expressed deep disappointment, saying, "I can't believe Ramaphosa is going against his own people." Ramaphosa's statement came during a business summit where he urged South Africans to embrace a more open and inclusive approach to the issue of migration, stressing that foreigners living in South Africa are not the problem. According to him, the country's woes, poverty, unemployment, crime, and inequality should not be blamed on immigrants but on deeper structural issues and decades of mismanagement. While his words might have been intended to strike a note of unity and regional solidarity, the reception among the public was far from harmonious. For Jacinta and many ordinary South Africans, the president's comments represented a betrayal of the lived reality faced daily by millions. Communities across the country have often voiced concerns about the strain migration places on housing, healthcare, schooling, and especially the job market. With official unemployment hovering at record highs, frustration has often spilled over into tense clashes, protests, and even xenophobic violence. In this climate, Ramaphosa's remarks sounded to some like a dismissal of their genuine concerns. South Africans are crying for jobs, for opportunities, for protection in their own land, Jacinta argued in her reaction video that has since gone viral on social media. Instead of standing with his own people, the president is busy lecturing us to accept more pressure, more competition, and more suffering. How can he turn his back on us like this? Her words struck a chord with many, reigniting a fiery debate about whether Ramaphosa's leadership truly represents the will of the people or whether it has been captured by globalist agendas that prioritize diplomacy and international image over the immediate needs of South African citizens. Critics argue that while the president is right to point out structural problems as the root cause of economic stagnation, he fails to acknowledge the visible impact migration has on communities. Clinics overwhelmed by undocumented patients, schools forced to accommodate more learners than they can handle, and informal settlements growing rapidly in cities are realities that cannot be explained away by policy jargon. For citizens already at the edge of despair, the president's stance felt like a cold dismissal. Jacinta's reaction also highlighted the political risk Ramaphosa faces. With national elections drawing closer and public confidence in the ruling party already at historic lows, alienating citizens on such a sensitive topic could prove costly. "Leaders are supposed to listen," she said. "But here we are, being told our concerns don't matter. Does he think the people will forget when it's time to vote?" Supporters of the president, however, counter that Ramaphosa is trying to avoid fanning the flames of xenophobia and violence. They argue that responsible leadership means calling for tolerance and finding balanced solutions, not scapegoating vulnerable groups. According to them, leaders like Jacinta risk oversimplifying complex problems for political gain, which could destabilize the fragile social fabric of the country. Still, the optics cannot be ignored. South Africa has one of the highest youth unemployment rates in the world, hovering around 60% in some provinces. For many job seekers who feel pushed out of opportunities, the perception that foreigners are being prioritized, whether true or not, fuels resentment. Ramaphosa's comments, stripped of nuance in public discourse, have therefore landed as an insult rather than a reassurance. The controversy reveals the deep fault lines in South African society, between diplomacy and domestic politics, between global ideals and grassroots realities, between a president seeking to project calm and citizens demanding action. Jacinta's outburst may have been emotional, but it spoke to a sentiment many share, that the government seems increasingly distant from the struggles on the ground. Whether Ramaphosa will clarify or soften his stance remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the debate around migration, sovereignty, and leadership will only grow louder as South Africans head into another heated election season. For now, Jacinta's words linger as a haunting echo of discontent. "I can't believe Ramaphosa is going against his own people."